A crown obtained through blood. A kingdom built on betrayal.
What is the price of a forgotten crime? We think history is silent. We think stolen wealth has no voice. But what if the witness wasn't a person, but a creature that outlives generations? A creature that doesn't just remember, but repeats. This is the story of a bird that held a kingdom's secret in its beak, a story that flaps its wings to ask, when you inherit a stolen fortune, do you inherit the victim's curse, or their vengeance? Jerry was a cultural reclamation specialist. That's what he told himself. In truth, he was a world-class art thief, specializing in artifacts looted from Africa. He didn't just steal for money, he stole for a twisted sense of justice, keeping the treasures for himself in a private, hidden vault. His greatest obsession was the lost Sunstone of Ukunu, a gem said to hold the noon sun's heat, stolen a century ago when the Kingdom of Ukunu fell. His search led him to a decaying mansion sale in Lisbon. Among the dusty relics was a cage. And in it, a stunning, elderly African gray parrot. The listing said it was over 80 years old. As Jerry passed, the parrot, named Mnemosyne by its tag, spoke. Not in Portuguese. In a clean, old dialect of Ukunu. A language Jerry had studied for his heists. Parrot, in a clear, archaic accent, the stone sleeps where the blind sentinel weeps. Jerry's blood ran cold. It was a line from a fragmented Ukunu poem about the Sunstone's hiding place. The rest of the poem was lost to history. This bird wasn't just old. It was contemporary to the theft. It had been there. He bought the parrot instantly. Mnemosyne was more than a witness. She was a living map. With patience and the right prompts, old Ukunu songs, names of dead nobles, she would recite fragments. Descriptions of a coastline, a cave, a specific rock formation. Jerry, using his vast resources, pieced it together. A remote cove in Madagascar. He mounted an expedition. And there, in a salt cave exactly as the parrot's disjointed memories described, he found it. Not just the sunstone. The entire royal cache of Ukunu. Gold beads, carved ivory, coronation staffs. A king's ransom. He had done it. He had reclaimed a kingdom's soul. Or so he told himself. He built a majestic, hidden gallery in his penthouse to display it all. At the center, on a pedestal, the sunstone glowed with a gentle, warm light. And in a cage of gold and ivory nearby, Mnemosyne preened, her black eyes reflecting the treasure. The first change was subtle. Mnemosyne began to speak unprompted. Not fragments, but complete, archaic sentences. She would mutter court gossip. Chief Omain's wife fancied the flute player. She would recite decrees. The tax on salt is reduced by half. It was fascinating. A window into a lost world. Then, she began to correct Jerry. If he placed a ceremonial bowl an inch out of where she remembered it, she'd shriek, "No." The queen's handmaiden placed it thus. Her tone was not that of a pet, but of a courtier. Disapproving. Commanding. Jerry's sleep was invaded by vivid dreams of Ukunu's final days. The chaos, the smoke, the soldiers in foreign uniforms. And always, perched high in a silkwood tree, watching calmly, was the parrot. He confided in his only semi-trusted associate, a historian named Farai, who had authenticating skills. Farai examined the bird, the artifacts, and grew pale. Jerry, in Ukunu cosmology, parrots were not just mimics. They were vessels for minor court spirits. Mnemosyne isn't a pet name. It's a title. It means, keeper of protocol. You haven't just found a witness. You've imported a ghost bureaucrat from a dead kingdom. And it is now in charge of your collection. Jerry laughed it off. It's a bird, Farai. A brilliant, ancient bird. But Mnemosyne's demands grew. She'd refuse to eat unless fed at specific, courtly hours. She'd become agitated if Jerry wore modern clothes near the treasure, squawking about proper vestments. She was enforcing the etiquette of a court that no longer existed, in a room that was now her domain. The horror began the night Jerry brought a date, a fashion designer named Kaya, to impress. As Kaya admired the sunstone, Mnemosyne, from her cage, spoke in an icy, clear voice. The consort from the Riverlands may look, but not touch the heart of the kingdom. Kaya, freaked out, left immediately. Jerry, angry, threw a cloth over the cage. For the first time, the parrot fell utterly silent. A deep, cold shadow seemed to fall over the sunstone's warm glow. The silent treatment was worse. The penthouse felt dead. The treasures looked like mere objects. Jerry, unnerved, removed the cloth after 3 days. Mnemosyne looked at him. Her eyes seemed older, deeper. She spoke. The usurper covers the eyes of the herald. Penalty, restitution. That night, Jerry's state-of-the-art security system failed. Not a break-in. A rearrangement. He woke to find every single artifact in his gallery moved. Slightly. A bracelet shifted from one case to another. A mask turned to face the wall. It was as if the court had held a midnight session and redecorated. Then, the restitution began. Jerry's prized vintage car, bought with the proceeds of a past heist, was found vandalized. Not by spray paint, but by deep, precise scratches that formed Ukunu symbols for thief. Farai, who had expressed doubts about keeping the treasure, received a parcel. It contained a single, ancient gold bead and a modern printed note that read, in perfect typescript, "Silence is appreciated. The treasury notes your discretion." It wasn't from Jerry. The parrot had commanded it somehow. The spirit was bribing potential threats, using the very treasure as its instrument. Mnemosyne was no longer just a keeper. She was administering the kingdom's wealth from beyond the grave, treating Jerry not as an owner, but as a negligent steward who needed to be managed, or removed. The final straw was personal. Jerry decided to sell one piece, a minor gold ring, to cover expenses. The moment he made the online listing, Mnemosyne flew into a frenzy, beating against her cage. The sunstone's glow flared, then turned a sickly, feverish orange. That evening, Jerry developed a burning rash in the exact shape of the ring around his finger. The consort, Kaya, who had worn a similar ring that night, called in tears. Her skin was burning with the same mark. The treasure was cursed. And the parrot was the curse's manager. It was enforcing a royal decree: the treasure must stay together, under its supervision. Jerry was trapped. He couldn't sell. He couldn't move it. He was the glorified, living security guard for a ghost kingdom's bank. He confronted the cage. "What do you want?" Mnemosyne tilted her head. "The kingdom requires a king." She spoke a new, long string of archaic verses. Farai, terrified, translated. It was a coronation ritual. For the treasure to be at peace, for its power to be properly channeled and its curses dormant, it needed to be presided over by a rightful ruler. A descendant of Ukunu. Jerry was a thief. Not a king. The parrot's solution was simple, monstrous. If there is no king, the Herald will appoint a vessel. It wanted to use Jerry. To hollow him out and fill him with the spirit of the last Ukunu court official it remembered, the one who had sealed the cave. It wanted to perform a possession. To make Jerry the new, physical, keeper of protocol. Jerry was faced with an impossible choice: be consumed by a dead kingdom's bureaucrat, or find a true heir. His thief's mind saw a third option: destroy the source. Not the treasure, but the witness. The living memory. He decided to kill Mnemosyne. He couldn't do it himself. He hired a cold, efficient man named Simba for the ugly task. That night, as Simba entered the gallery with a small, silent pistol, Mnemosyne was calm. She spoke to the man. "The mercenary's price is 30 pieces. The left drawer." Confused, Simba opened the small antique desk drawer Jerry used for spare keys. Inside, he found 30 raw, flawless diamonds that hadn't been there before. A fortune beyond his fee. The parrot had outbid Jerry for his own assassin's loyalty. Simba looked at Jerry, pocketed the diamonds, and left. Jerry was alone with the bird. Mnemosyne's voice changed. It became a chorus, layered with many whispers, the voices of the lost court. "We have waited. We have watched. You are a thief. But you are also competent. You found us. You reassembled the court. The kingdom is bankrupt of blood. We must work with the material at hand." The sunstone blazed. The artifacts around the room began to vibrate, humming a low, ancient frequency. The parrot's eyes locked onto Jerry's. He felt a pressure, not in his head, but in his memories. His knowledge of languages, his understanding of security systems, his own identity, it was being pushed aside, like files in a drawer, to make room for something else. Protocols. Genealogies. Etiquette. He was being overwritten. In sheer, desperate panic, Jerry did not fight the invasion. He redirected it. He ran not away, but to his computer. With his own mind screaming, he used the last of his will to access every genealogical database, every DNA ancestry service he had hacked over the years. He shoved the name Ukunu and the fragments of royal names from the parrot's ramblings into the digital void, screaming internally, "Find the heir. Find the true king. Not me." The systems churned. The pressure in his mind was splitting his skull. Just as he felt his own name dissolve, a single result flashed. A name. An address. In a small town in Brazil. A descendant of a slave who was, records suggested, a lost prince of Ukunu. Jerry vomited the name and address aloud. The pressure ceased. The humming stopped. The sunstone dimmed to its gentle glow. Mnemosyne was silent for a long time. Then she spoke, her voice single again, thoughtful. "A quest. A restoration. This is acceptable protocol. The parrot would not be killed. The treasure would not be destroyed." Jerry's punishment was clear. He must now become the restorer. He must use all his skills as a thief, a forger, a manipulator, to find this lost heir, transport the treasure, and orchestrate a restoration of the Ukunu legacy, all under the meticulous, feathered supervision of Mnemosyne. He is no longer a thief. He is a royal servant. A ghost's employee. His penthouse is now the temporary embassy of a dead kingdom. And the parrot on her perch? She is no longer just a witness. She is the herald of the return. And her work has just begun. Jerry stole a treasure and inherited its entire ghostly administration. His story teaches us that some secrets aren't meant to be found, they're meant to be guarded. And the witness to a crime doesn't always seek justice. Sometimes, it just seeks to continue the business of the victim, with you as the new, permanent employee. You can steal the gold, but you cannot steal away from the duty that comes with it. But what do you think? Is Jerry's fate a fitting punishment for his theft, or is he now a slave to a supernatural tyranny? Could he have escaped once he realized the truth, or was he doomed from the moment he bought the cage? Let me know in the comments below. The quest for the heir is underway. To follow Jerry and Mnemosyne's journey to Brazil and the terrifying process of restoring a ghost kingdom, you must subscribe and hit the bell. If tales of cursed artifacts and spectral bureaucracy chilled you, you must witness the dancer whose movements could tell history. The link is on the screen right now. Don't forget to subscribe for more original, chilling tales from the Safari of Tales. We perch in the shadows of history every week. Until next time, listen carefully to what the birds repeat.